You, Robbie Henshaw and Ronan Keller in particular back this week, and just talk about the boost of getting them back at this stage of the season.
It's great. Two very experienced players. It's great. Yeah, like it gives proper competition now across the board. So it's good. Credit to the rehab gang, like they're working hard behind the scenes there the whole time, with various different players, which is great. You know. The guys hopefully they'll be in good shape now as well. It's going to be a huge game. So Munster, will definitely sniffing the opportunity for sure coming up here now. Just even the last couple of seasons, you listen to some of their talk, and they're pretty desperate for silverware. So for our guys, try to freshen things up a little bit with selection. It's good having some of those fresh faces come back into the group, and hopefully they can deliver plenty of energy in the performance, because I think we'll need it.
Was this one of the more difficult team selections where you're trying to balance, keeping some players fresh for next week, but also not wanting to take your eye off the ball as well for this week?
Yes and no. Yeah, like every week is challenging because there's lots of guys that want to be involved in these big games, and we're sort of in this sequence of like you look at the schedule, and if you win the games, you keep coming back to the Aviva, which is great. But it's making sure that we sort of separate them all as they're separate battles that they are. So teams come with very different challenges. We got to this stage last year, semi-final, and we came unstuck against the Bulls, after a huge win against Glasgow the week before. So again, we don't want to fall into that trap this year. We've had a decent win against the Sharks, so again, it's good having some of that fresh energy coming in. Again, we know we have a game for next week as well, and it's difficult, but you just need to make sure you're staying focused on the job at hand, one game at a time, and all that sort of sound bites you'd hear all the time. The Munster game, Derby game, it's like focus the mind usually straight away. And for players, they understand there's a much broader picture there as well. If you think at some point, I don't know, there'll be some sort of World Cup squad picked, and look at some of the individual battles there alone. So whatever about competition in this URC to get into a final, with the Irish teams go up against each other, it's Derby game, and there's a hell of a lot more at stake always, isn't there? Same with supporters that come to the game, and there's always that good rivalry there, isn't it? And that's what you need. Sporting rivalries are amazing. We've had a great rivalry with Munster over the last, for as long as I can remember anyway. And hopefully again it'll be a great occasion here tomorrow. I believe there's still a few tickets left, so Claire and Johnny are working away behind the scenes.
Have you been impressed with how Munster have rallied to keep their season alive, particularly the last probably 4 or 5 weeks?
Yeah, and it's been on the road. So the flip side is, and we're talking about us being here in the Aviva, they've been on the road in many ways after getting knocked out in Europe, in the Champions Cup in South Africa. Then they come home. So again, and that's the thing about, then it becomes a singular focus. So Bulls last year, if you remember, we lost in semi-final. It was a singular focus because they weren't in the Champions Cup. So all their energy is on that, and that's the thing for our group, just to make sure that we're clear on. But so without the Champions Cup distraction for them, they're fully focused to go back to South Africa. They get their win and get their draw, get out of there. Obviously they qualify for the knockout stages, and they pick up a great win again away from home against Glasgow. So, which again they have that week they get to manage. They're not involved obviously the semi-final or the quarter-final of the Champions Cup, so they get time to train and whatever else they do, and recover and rest and keep their focus on the one thing. So for us, it's been just grinding on week to week, and hence some of the changes in the selection. Go back to that question. So, but that's the challenge, isn't it? We want to be competitive on both fronts. Want to deliver as best we can in 2 tournaments. It's not easy. I remember as the guys sitting at the back of the room there, we probably had this conversation 6 or 7 years ago about that challenge. Should you ever prioritise one over the other? But for us, it's want to try and go after both tournaments, and hence trying to keep it competitive with the group, and hence some of the changes as well.